Okay, today is porchetta. Now, you may not have ever heard this. It's a traditional holiday roast in Italy. It's actually the Italian Christmas roast, porchetta. It's wonderful. It's decadent. It's beautiful to make. But the reason they call it the Christmas roast is because they would really only make it once a year. Well, I'm going to show you how easy this can be to make an everyday porchetta. Okay, we're going to start by making the stuffing to a pork tenderloin. We've got not a pork tenderloin, a pork loin. We've got a nice 4-pound pork loin here, but we're going to make the stuffing for it first, which can be made out of anything that you like. But what I like is a version of a gremolata, which is herbs and lemon and what I'm going to make it out of is Italian flat leaf parsley, some lemon zest, some Dijon style mustard, some roasted red peppers, some salt, pepper, garlic, and some Italian cheese blend. The Italian cheese blend is kind of a Romano Pecorino and Parmesan blend, and that's going to be our stuffing. So you can rough dice quite a bit of flat leaf parsley, not the stems. We'll get rid of the stems, but this is a knife technique called fanning, where you hold the blade down and chop across it without ever removing the tip of the blade. Fanning. Okay, that is the parsley. We talked about a microplane in one of the other recipes. Really indispensable for me because it gets only the zest of citrus and none of the white pith that's underneath that's kind of bitter. So there's the zest of one lemon. The zest of 2 lemons. Let's and I know that I just cut using my knife without a cutting board. An absolute no-no in this household with my kids, but you won't tell them. So I don't want too much lemon juice in there because it'll compete with the Dijon mustard. But let's get any seeds out of there. I want to cut up some of those roasted red peppers that are bottled, and you can make whatever stuffing you want out of whatever's in your pantry that kind of seems like it would be good for you to put into a pork roast. I'm using these peppers not so much for the taste as a wonderful color that they're going to give to when we cut the pork roast open. So that is the roasted red peppers, a tablespoon, maybe 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. And because it's pork, we're going to need to, and it's about a 4 or 5 pound roast, we're going to salt and pepper it kind of liberally. This is one of those salt, pepper, garlic, rosemary blends. And like I said, an Italian cheese blend of Romano Pecorino, Parmesan, and that is our, I'll stir that up a little bit more, but that is our stuffing. And I might even put a little bit more of that salt and pepper in before we cut it, but Now let's prepare our roast. Okay, a pork loin roast. I think it's wonderful protein. It's something that we don't use as often as we probably should. It's lean, it's good, it is inexpensive. It's about the same price as chicken, probably leaner, and in my opinion, a lot more versatile, and you can do a lot with. What we're going to do is we're going to cut this in kind of a butterfly, and we're going to butterfly it open, layer it open, kind of a trifold brochure cut, if you will. So we're going to go into the top third. Do you see how we've done that? We 2/3 is still on the board. 1/3 we've cut open. We're going to cut all the way over to the one side. Then we're going to cut down, not ever all the way through, but cut down. Okay. And then we're going to flip it around and cut back over. Cut back all the way over to the other side, so that you've made 3 cuts over the top, 1/3 down, and then over again. And what you've done is more or less made a whole layer out of that. And all we're going to do at this point is wash our hands and put the stuffing in and on and around it. Okay, you only need to put it on this one side of this side and over here, because the top flap is going to fold over. Now, traditional porchetta would be surrounded by pork belly, and we're not going to do that. We're going to do something a little bit different. And you would also, whenever you cut a pork roast open like this, you would also want to truss it. You would want to use butcher's twine and tie it up so that you can keep all of that inside. We're going to accomplish 2 things in one method by using a lattice work of bacon to truss this. 1 package of bacon here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a row of bacon that is actually 2 wide or 2 in length, because we need to go the whole length of that pork roast, and 3 across. So we'll get these pieces of bacon placed out that are going to be the ones that the roast will go in the middle here. You'll see in a minute, it'll make more sense. But what we're going to do is we're going to lattice this up really quickly by braiding this bacon in. You pull the middle first and put a slice in there, and then pull each side. You can see how this is easily done. And you don't need to go all the way to the end, and then you would come back this way, and you'd pick both of these up, including the other piece, and start your lattice work down this way, and go the rest of your package worth of bacon, which is 4 pieces, down this way. And 1 last piece in here. Okay, so you've made your lattice work of bacon with pieces of bacon that are going to slip over the sides. Here's your roast. I'm going to wash my hands really quickly again, because what I want to do is put a little bit more of this
of this seasoning, salt and pepper and garlic and on the outside. Again, pork loves seasoning, and that's why we've stuffed it with a whole bunch of herbs and seasoning on the inside. Now we're just going to take this and we're going to put it fat cap up right over our lattice work of bacon, and we're going to kind of tuck that in as best we can, and then we're going to take the end pieces and put them over, okay, and then start lacing this up. So this bacon, as it cooks, it's going to shrink and also hold our roast together really nicely. But we're going to do this just like this the whole way down. I'm going to get those end pieces up so that they can be tucked in by the side pieces, and you'll see in a moment how fantastic and beautiful this is when we put this on a cookie sheet. All right, you're going to carefully take this roast and lift it up onto a baking sheet, and then you're going to take any of those pieces of bacon that need to be tucked back in someplace, and you're going to, that's all ready to bake. This turns out so beautiful. So what I want you to do, everybody thinks that they have to way overcook pork because of, I think what our grandmas told us or something like that. They all told us that we needed to cook pork past the temperature of chicken, past 165. I think pork is bred to be clean and can be eaten a whole lot less cooking temperature than 165. In fact, I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it in a hot oven because I want to sear that bacon on the outside. So I'm going to put it in a 400-degree oven, maybe even no, we'll do 400 degrees. With a probe thermometer, and I'm only going to take it to where the center of the pork is cooked to 136 degrees. It'll carry over to 140. That way it's going to be fully cooked on the inside. It's still going to be juicy. It's not going to be dry. The bacon is going to be done and crispy, and it's going to be fantastically beautiful. You're going to love this. Okay, I've got some tricolor little fingerling potatoes, little new potatoes that I'm just cutting in half. I'm going to dress with some olive oil and salt and put around the roast to cook at the same time. Okay, a couple of tablespoons of olive oil, not too much, and some salt, and then you'll mix that up so that everything's covered with salt and oil, and then just put that around the roast. And those are going to become browned and caramelized and actually sit in a little bit of that bacon grease and just love it. Now I'm going to take a probe thermometer, and if you don't have one of these yet, go out and get one. They are cheap, they're effective, and you need to have them. You're never going to be able to tell from just looking at a roast on the inside of an oven or by time and temperature when something's going to be done. So this way you can stick this right down into the center of the thickest part of the roast and keep this part on the outside of the oven. We'll kind of set that up as we put it in. It's still preheating up to 400 degrees. So when we get this all set up, this will come out of the oven into our little probe thermometer, and we'll know exactly what's going on the inside of the roast, and can take it out or adjust our temperature or timing or whatever so that we take it out and it's perfectly cooked on the inside. We're going to put this in the middle of a 400-degree preheated oven. We've got our probe thermometer right there ready to go. Put it in the middle of that oven. Grab our probe thermometer cable, bring it outside, and plug it in so that we know exactly what we're going on with. Right now we've got a 51 degree internal temperature because it just came out of the fridge, and we're going to bring it up to 136 degrees, and it'll have carryover to about 140 degrees, and the bacon will be crispy on the outside and the potatoes will be done. Okay, we're now up to 90 degrees, and I'm going to show you what this looks like. Potatoes are getting done, the bacon's getting done, and because we have a probe thermometer, which we don't want to, we know exactly what's going on internal and don't have to play any timing and temperature games. Pulled this out of the oven at 132 degrees and have let it rest. It's probably up closer to 140 degrees now, and we'll cut into this and serve it for you so that you can see what this looks like. That crispy bacon on the outside, the perfectly cooked roast, the herbs on the inside with the cheese. This is the pan drippings. And we took those potatoes out of the oven that are crispy and golden brown, and we put some lemon juice and some more cheese on those. This is easy, quick porchetta. Enjoy.